We got an Assassin's Creed brand update for what we can expect in 2026. Lots of good news, some bad news as well, I would argue, especially in how it is worded, but we will get to that. And then we will also look at this video. I will share some extra info I got because I was able to attend a Microsoft Teams meeting with John Godon, going over the franchise, and he did share some interesting things. So yeah, we will talk about that, but let's first go over everything that is in this brand new article. Hello everyone, as we get ready to step out of winter, we wanted to share an update on what we have planned for the rest of the year across the Assassin's Creed franchise. We're joined by John Godon, head of content, who just came back to the franchise. In case you missed the announcement, check it out. So he was of course the creative director on Origins and Black Flag, and now he's head of content, so it's great to have him back again. We will listen to this 1-minute video a little later, but first let's go over stuff because hey, they're teasing the Black Flag remake. So yeah, there's a lot. Let's start with our latest release from last year. Assassin's Creed Shadows is about to turn 1. Since launch, the experience has evolved with new features and updates, shaped in a large part by your feedback. Our recent parkour refinements are a direct result of regular feedback sessions both in person and online with our most engaged players and creators. On behalf of the entire Shadows team, thank you for being part of the journey. This past year has been a rewarding learning experience for us, built on this strong collaboration. We want to carry this mindset forward as a foundation to further strengthen our connection with you in the future. Come celebrate with us on March 20th. Now it's time to celebrate. Tune in to our official Ubisoft Twitch channel for a live stream starting 10 AM PT, 6 PM Central European Time, with a focus on our latest game update, and we might even reveal the winner of our parkour challenge, along with some drops and giveaways. As we reach this milestone, Shadows will be moving into its final phase of support. Okay, we're winding things down with smaller, less frequent updates, but still a few surprises. At the same time, our teams will begin shifting more focus toward what's next for Assassin's Creed. I think this is very interesting. It really sounds to me as if they made some changes and that some things they were planning are cut, and then it's like, okay, you guys were going to work on Shadows for the full year, launch new updates, etc. We're not doing that anymore. So maybe still finish a few things here and there, of course. More Isu stuff was teased. Maybe Cassandra will join. Maybe another update to the Corrupted Castles. I don't know, but it does feel like winding things down. For Valhalla, the second year did not feel like winding down because we of course got the Forgotten Saga and a lot of like part 2s to a lot of the activities that we had in the first year. So like if Shadows was a huge success, they obviously would not be doing it. So I really think the post-launch has not been doing as well as they maybe hoped or that they saw from previous RPGs. And yeah, I get why, because again, it felt like they did not learn anything from those 3 RPGs that they applied to Shadows. It felt like a completely new team came in and they were like, yeah, we're just gonna do some quests that you finish in 30 minutes, etc. It also felt like kind of an afterthought, and we kind of learned that that was the case as well. They were working on like fixing Shadows, making sure it was ready for release, and then they were starting to think of the post-launch. Well, every RPG has a post-launch, and I think even Origins post-launch was planned like maybe a half a year or a year prior, because they were pushing out stuff every month for that game. So it really feels like what Simon told me in November of last year is not really the case anymore. He said, we're gonna do less frequent updates, but they will be bigger. So in the end, we will probably get the same amount of maybe even more content than what we saw in year 1. From this like article, it sounds like that's not the case anymore. We might get like that Black Flag crossover mission, and that is it. Or it is just very poorly worded, like winding down support is not how I would have described it if you still had like maybe 4 big updates. Like what Simon said is, we're gonna do the November update, so the Isu content, that of course had the puzzlement quest with the 2 bandits from the early game. And yeah, it had like new abilities and stuff. It will be like that, but bigger. Well, from this wording, that doesn't sound like it, but let me know what you think in the comments. So what is next, you may ask? A codename Hexe. Well, we know we haven't shared much about this one yet. It's built with great care by our veteran team here at Ubisoft Montreal. Expect a unique, darker, narrative-driven Assassin's Creed experience set during a pivotal moment in history. You may have seen the recent news. I've recently taken the role of creative director for the project in addition to my new responsibilities as head of content. We're taking the time to deliver on this ambitious vision, which means we will be quiet for a little longer, but we love seeing all the enthusiasm happening on our channels and can't wait to unveil more when the time is right. Now, during this Microsoft team meeting, Jean Godin also said that, of course, like Clint Hawking was first the creative director, so Jean Godin is not coming in and changing a bunch of things. They're still keeping what they had with Hexe and just like, yeah, basically pushing it over the finish line. We know that the rumored release date right now is holiday 2027. And we also had some new rumors from Tom Henderson in the Insider Gaming podcast that already went over in the Sunday video. But for if you missed it, they're completely redoing the combat with a lot of acrobatic moves. They hired a contortionist for the mocap. Ezio was planned to come in halfway through the game to teach the main character the ways of the assassin. Not sure if that's still the case. So that's what Tom said, like that it was planned, but it seems like that is still the case. This is seemingly the game many at Ubisoft Montreal want to work on, and again, seemingly planned for holiday 2027. So yeah, that usually means they will fully reveal it in like May 2027, but yeah, they have like completely new leaders as we already went over, so maybe things have changed, we will see. Codename Invictus is progressing steadily with a test and learn approach. Codename Invictus is a PvP multiplayer Assassin's Creed experience led by a dedicated team of For Honor veterans at Ubisoft Montreal. We understand there's a lot of curiosity around this project. Yes, it's a new approach to multiplayer in the franchise, but it isn't quite what the rumors have suggested. So that was like the Fall Guys type thing, right? With player feedback at the heart of our approach, we're exploring ways to bring the community in earlier so we can shape the experience together. The team is incredibly passionate about what they're building, and their work reflects our broader goal of offering a wide variety of experiences within the Assassin's Creed universe. So yeah, it tells me they will likely at one point just do a blog post where it's like, hey, sign up for the upcoming closed test. Maybe they do like a trailer for it so we know what it is. So yeah, I'm expecting to see that in 2026. Beyond these, we have several other projects currently in the works, all at different stages of development, including Assassin's Creed Jade. It lives! This was a very important name drop, because of course the game completely disappeared off the face of the earth, and it will have almost been 3 years since we got that like closed test that was very close to being done. At least I played it, it felt very good already, so I'm curious what they will do, but I think it would be perfect to launch that this year, but we will see. And that is, of course, basically Assassin's Creed Odyssey 2, but set in ancient China, and a mobile game that we can hopefully play on PC as well, and would be even better if they brought it to console, but we will see. We're also looking into bringing co-op back to Assassin's Creed, a detail we know didn't go unnoticed. And while we recently chose to pivot away from an early project, which was Assassin's Creed Legion, or the co-op mode basically for Assassin's Creed Shadows, the lessons from that work are already helping shape our approach going forward. And that is what the French article that reported on the cancellation of Legion also like noted. So yeah, that article was spot on. I talked about it here on this channel. What matters most to us is giving each project the time it deserves and releasing them when they are ready, which is good. And of course, we are already seeing that with Hexe. Like, that game will be in development for 7 years when it comes out, which is crazy. Speculation around Assassin's Creed is not new, but it's worth repeating. Nothing is true, everything is permitted. Well, except in this case. Some whispers have a little more wind in their sails. Keep your spyglass on the horizon. Yeah, whappy-oo. There it is, our first official look. And logo, I really like the logo. I love the skull. Of course, it already had a skull, but this like a, I don't know, it looks awesome. Assassin's Creed Black Flag resynced, they confirmed the name and the rumors. And the current rumor right now is from Tom Henderson, also during that Insider Gaming podcast, that the game will be revealed before Ubisoft's financial call in May. So when we have more info, I will of course be the first to tell you here and on the main channel. Let's now look at imminent updates. Expect more news on the Netflix live action series very soon, okay? Yes, it's been a long time in the making, but Assassin's Creed is taking the leap into live action series. You may have seen some news about the cast lately, and we can't wait for you to discover more. Something tells us you won't have to wait very long. Okay. Finally, continuing the support of our older games matter to us. We know how much these titles mean to many of you, and that they're often the first entry point for new players discovering the franchise. And on the topic, we have one last thing to share. A free 60 FPS patch for Assassin's Creed Unity is coming to Xbox Series X and S and PlayStation 5 tomorrow, so that's March 5th. We know some of you have been waiting for this for a long time, so get ready to re-experience these 18th century Paris and Arno's fancy parkour moves with more smoothness on consoles. Yes! And for our Xbox players out there, we've got a little treat, as multiple Assassin's Creed games will be playable for free for a limited time for the Xbox Free Play days, from April 2nd to the 6th. Perfect time to try Unity in that 60 FPS beauty. Ooh, sweet. So we have all the logos here. Yeah, happening. No Jade. So, again, Jade is still interesting because it's like Tencent level Infinite making it and publishing it. So, but yeah. Thank you for being part of the journey. As we conclude this update for all our projects in development, we want to involve our most engaged fans in shaping them. If you would like to be part of that, join the conversation. Whether on our Discord or across our online channels, we're always looking for passionate voices to share ideas, perspectives, and feedback to inspire our work and help shape the future of the franchise. And that's overall, I think, kind of the goal with a post like this, to make sure that they want to like come across as more forward-facing, like they want to talk directly to the community. And I think they're doing a great job. They are not revealing too much, but they are saying, yo, we have a ton of stuff coming, and look out for this and this. They're teasing the Black Flag remake. This is pretty cool. I think that's pretty cool. And overall, him like talking about a more coherent vision. Again, I had a Teams meeting with other creators and Jean Godin as well, and people from Ubisoft. And that was also them basically being like, yo, we want to have a more direct conversation also with you. And we, of course, have our ear to the ground to what you are saying. And like, I've been like covering these Assassin's Creed games for almost 10 years now, and especially the RPG games, like from the first reveal Origins to the final update, and that has been the case for all these games ever since Origins. So, yeah, I think it's awesome that they are a bit more open to that. The meeting did still feel like he just joined as the head of content like a week ago, so he was still getting his feet wet, still making sure, okay, what is everyone working on? But it is, I do think it overall does feel like they want to make sure that that everything feels a bit more connected, and that every Assassin's Creed thing they put out still has that DNA, and sometimes in the recent years that was kind of missing. I still think, like, Odyssey, of course, gets a lot of, like, crap for that, but I do think that, I hope also that they look at what Odyssey achieved, and that they do also see that for some people, Odyssey is what Assassin's Creed is, and not just the older games. Like, there are multiple generation of Assassin's Creed players right now, and yeah, I think Odyssey, despite not having a lot of the Assassin's Creed DNA that people are looking for, still was super successful. It's like the second most successful Assassin's Creed game, so I do think they should not forget that. There were two things that I asked. One was regarding Ubisoft Bordeaux, so of course the Claws of Awaji DLC, that's what they did. Also Assassin's Creed Mirage, of course, more prominently. They also did the Valley of Memory DLC, but they are not part of Vantage Studios. That's of course the creative house. Ubisoft is now has 5 creative houses, and the Assassin's Creed creative house, or the Assassin's Creed franchise, is part of the Vantage Studios creative house. But Bordeaux as a studio is not listed. So what Jean Godin said was basically, hey, it doesn't mean they're not working on Assassin's Creed anymore. We will still leverage these studios that like Ubisoft has in general, and Bordeaux seems to be, I mean, like a support studio right now. Like, my dream would still be that they get to make a true old school urban environment, like just like your typical Assassin's Creed experience, like one of the older games, but get the time, get the budget. Not sure if that is happening, but yeah, we should not worry that much, at least, is what I kind of got, so that's good. Another thing I talked about is that it really feels like Montreal and Quebec sometimes are kind of like fighting, or are not communicating as much, and that rivalry is kind of hurting the overall brand, because we, of course, if you watch this, you probably as well have played a lot of the post-launches for all these Assassin's Creed RPGs, and it's always kind of weird that during Odyssey they learn things, they do things right, and then when Valhalla comes out, we're back to square one, and it feels like they're doing a first post-launch for an Assassin's Creed RPG ever, and not taking anything from Odyssey. And then we go to Shadows, felt like the same. And like that is, I think, also why Shadows is kind of struggling. Like they could have had a way better post-launch if they were actually looking at the previous post-launches and applying those learnings. But it feels like it's always a new team coming in that did not have any of the knowledge of those older games. But it does seem that with now having the 3 leaders, like Sean Godin is one of them, that knowledge should be shared across everyone. And that they hopefully will not make those mistakes. We have to wait and see. But I do hope that by hopefully having more of these team calls, being more community facing. I mean, the Shadows post-launch, it was really good in that they added the manual jump. They did a lot of like feedback from the community and put that in the game. But I think some things should not be a surprise to them. New Game Plus, like, you know everyone wants it. That should already be in development before the game is out, basically, right? And all those other features that they added later that we should just expect at launch, or at least that they know that we want them, and not be like, huh? What do you mean, back at Jax? What is that? That's what it feels like. And seems like they want to get rid of, like, want to get ahead of that in the future. We will see. I'll, of course, be following everything here. Let me know what you think, of course, of all this news in the comments down below. Subscribe, leave a like, and I will speak to you soon. Goodbye.